Hi, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to discuss another scatter plot. Here, again, we are importing the necessary libraries, and we are going to simply have X and Y being generated randomly without having the random seed. So every time that I run, we are going to have a new figure. So you see, when I run, I have a new figure each time because we didn't set the seed here in the beginning. If we wanted to have that, we needed to have random dot seed and a number, for example, 50. If I uncomment this part, we are going to have uh, the same figure whenever I run the code. But because I don't have this one and I'm directly using the random generation numbers for X and Y, we see that every time that I run the code, we are having a new figure. Then the second thing that we're going to learn in this video is the fact that we can work with the size of our figure. So this is the size of the figure. So we can have the figure function, okay? And in parentheses, we write down the fig size equals, and then the length and width of the figure is entered there. For example, this is the length and width of my figure. Now it's 10 by 5. If I write down 2 by 1, for example, you see that it will become very small. You see? But if I have 20 by 10, for example, it will be very large. You see? So this way you can adjust the size that you want for your figure using the figure function, and the fig size keyword equals the length and the width. So here is how I'm defining the figure size. Then I'm generating the random numbers for X and Y. And now I would like to plot the scatter plot. We use the scatter keyword. We are having X for the horizontal axis, Y for the vertical axis. Then we can modify the marker and the size of the marker type, let's say, the size of the marker, and the color. Here, the marker is now O, which is a circular, as we discussed before. The size is 100, and the color is B, which is blue. Here are different markers that we can use. These are just examples and different colors. So the marker is O now. We can have a marker S. We discussed this before in the line plot. You see S, it's here. We can have D, for example. You see it's here. And we can have a triangle like this. So it depends on whatever we want. We can have V, star, and X as well. So I'm going to use V, for example, here. So when I have V, we see that it looks like this. And then we can have the marker size. So it's 100. We can have like 80, for example, if we want. When I run the code, you see they're a bit smaller. So I put, for example, 20. I run the code, you see that it's much smaller now. And here is the color that we can have. For example, B is blue. And if I put, for example, G, it will change the color to green. So you see that now it's green. You can also write down green here. You can also write down the full name of the color, for example, red. So it's red. Either you can use the keywords or you can have the full color being written there. So in this lecture, first of all, we learned about the size of the figure so we can modify the size. And then we learned about different marker types when we are plotting, a scatter plot. We learned about the marker size, and also we learned about the color modification. Thank you for watching.